All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome. My name is Claire Kessler, and I'll be your professor for VITI 305 Wines of the World. So, hi. It's all online, and I just want to send out an introduction video to go over like the syllabus, how to access Canvas, and just about the course in general. I have just a little couple slides here just to introduce you to everything, right? So welcome. Glad you guys could make it. So we'll go over the VITI program. I just want to introduce what it is, the courses that we offer, and what we have going on, the syllabus, Canvas, and then also Discord as well, which if you haven't heard of Discord before, that's okay. We're going to go over it, and it's optional. Okay, so first things first, about the viticulture program. So VITI stands for Viticulture and Enology at Folsom Lake College. I have a link to the program map here if you'd like to learn more about the classes that we offer and the degrees. We have an Associates of Science degree or a certificate program if you'd like to earn that. The wonderful thing about the program is that none of the classes have any prerequisites, so you're welcome to just sign up for what you enjoy, and then also hopefully we'll be taking making these courses available for non-credit, which means that you could take the course as many times as you like. So if like you really enjoyed a wine tasting course, you could come back every year if you wanted to. So that would be very cool. We're working on that at the moment. Benefits of the program, right? So where does this education take you? Well, here in El Dorado County, the Sierra Foothills, or even Sacramento County, wherever you're coming from, California as a whole is just a huge wine industry, right? So lots of wineries and lots of potential jobs for people with all different types of focuses, right? So if you have a green thumb, you like being outside, maybe you want to be in the vineyard, maybe you want to, get into fermentation science, maybe you want to get into winemaking, maybe you would like to prefer the customer side of things, so hospitality, management, event coordination, maybe you want to become a certified professional wine server or sommelier. There's also food and wine pairing, marketing, and much, much more available out there. The wonderful thing about working in the wine industry, I'd say especially the smaller wineries that are local, is that you just wear many hats, you do many things. So if you just don't want to do one thing every day, all day, like when you work at a small winery, like say, for example, say for me, when I'm at Boger, I am the assistant winemaker. But however, I am also in charge of doing the bottle shots and the wine fact sheets and educating the tasting room staff. And sometimes I help out with wine deliveries. So I get to go to like all the local grocery stores and restaurants and give them their wine delivery and then ask them like how their business is going and what pairs well and what's selling well. So there's just a lot that we do when we work in a smaller business. So anyways, enough with that. But there's also continuing education. If you wanted to move on and learn more and maybe expand to larger horizons, there's just food science in general, research, fermentation science, brewing, kombucha, tea, coffee, and spirits. So lots of options of other kind of niche sciences that you could get into. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of beauty products are fermentation science derived. Pharmaceuticals are fermentation science derived too, a lot of the time. So there's just a lot to know and so many options out there, right? And it's really fun because it's very hands-on science in general. Okay, enough about that. So for the class, we do everything online and it's all through this website called Canvas. I have a link to it here. So once you click that link, you can log on and then see our class. It also comes as an application that you can put on your phone or an app, right? And so you can access either way. I would recommend using the desktop just because it's easier to navigate. Sometimes the app is just like a little it's not as straightforward, or it might be actually missing some components that you're looking for specifically, right? So it's nice to have when you're in a pinch, but I'd recommend just using the desktop version. Next we have our syllabus, so I will do that first, and then we'll talk about the Discord server in a Canvas. That will flow naturally much better. Okay, cool. So here's our syllabus, VITI 305, Wines of the World. Hopefully you can read this. Okay, here we go, perfect. Okay, so it's an 8-week course starting August 23rd, ending October 15th. Non-synchronous online, so basically you can take the the course content at your leisure. Just pay attention to the due dates, please, and then you should be in a good spot. We will do optional in-person tastings, so those will be on Friday nights. Our first one will be on September 5th. So it'll actually be like the second week of school, technically. We can't do the first one, unfortunately, because I have a winery event I have to participate at. So it'll be the second week, and it'll most likely be 5 or 6 p.m. I'll let you know as we get closer, for sure, right? And if you can't make the tastings, that's okay. They're optional. They're just available to enhance your learning experience. You will not be deducted points, but I know some people are sad because no one likes to miss out on a free wine tasting. We have my email here. If you would like to reach out to me, you're welcome to contact me anytime. And it is attached to my phone. It's linked to my phone, so I do see your emails just about right away, but I also have a very busy schedule. So if I don't respond right away, please don't be offended. It's nothing personal. And if you have to send a little reminder like, hey, just checking in, don't be afraid to do that either. That's totally fine. Okay, objectives. So these are the big takeaways we want you to learn after taking this class, right? So we want you to identify world wine grape growing regions and the varietals best suited to that region. We want you to be able to differentiate the climate, soil, and geographic features that contribute to the uniqueness of those regions and the appellations, like the wine-specific designated areas. We would like you to explain the relationship of viticulture and winemaking practices on the qualities of a particular wine type. Compare and contrast the sensory characteristics of wines produced from the same varietal when grown in different locations, right? And evaluate the quality of wines from particular world wine producing areas. And last but not least, we want you to define and comprehend world wine label terminology. So across the world, everyone does it different, so that is a very nice skill to have. So those are the learning objectives for this course. Next, our class layout. Like we mentioned, it's all online. All materials will be on Canvas that you need, right? I do have like recommended textbooks, but that's just for if you're really into it and you want additional resources, that's available for you, but it's not required at all. Everything will be laid out for you in a very systematic way. We'll go over that shortly, and hopefully it'll make sense, right? So due dates will all be posted. It'll all be very clear communication. Okay, so how to access the class. I'm going to send you this syllabus in the email, so hopefully you can follow along. So you'll go online, and you're going to go to Los Rios single sign-on. You can go to Los Rios EDU or just type in Los Rios single sign-on and you can get in. You'll have to log in using your student ID and the password that you created when you became a student with Folsom Lake Colleges with e-services. If you can't remember your password, you can also reset it, right? Make sure you check the email to your student account though. Okay, once you log on, you'll find Wines of the World and you will have made it, right? Awesome. Wine tasting components are optional. We talked about this. If you can't make the meetings, I would recommend going out wine tasting and finding these wines, or if you have the budget, purchasing these wines from a local like Total Wine or Bevmo and trying them safely at home, of course. What you need for the class: a computer with access to the internet is absolutely necessary. If we do any assignments outside of the quizzes that will be assigned every week, I just ask that you don't submit it as a .pages. I don't have the ability to change Apple formats on my computer. I don't have Apple devices, so I apologize. That's an inconvenience. If you could just save it as a PDF, a Google Doc, or a Microsoft Word document, that's totally fine. That'll work. I also recommend that you have a wine tasting notebook. If you are going to join the wine tasting sessions, it's just a nice way to keep all of your notes together and it will help you learn. Cool. Textbooks, not required but recommended. The Wine Bible by Karen McNeil. That is what it sounds like. It is the Wine Bible, and Karen McNeil is a wonderful, wonderful writer. She does a great job. Her latest edition includes wines from Asia, which is very helpful. And then we also have Wine Simple by Aldo Som. Very nice book. very nice pictures too. The Wine Bible is very text heavy, very good information. Wine Simple is less intense, but still really valuable information condensed with very nice picture graphics. So I always like that. I'm a picture person. Our grading scale is standard grading scale. We don't have a curve. Important dates and deadlines. If you need to drop the class for whatever reason, this is just nice to know so you can get your refund and you don't get penalized with a bad grade. So just keep these in mind. I also have a link to the academic calendar in here as well if you'd like to see like school holidays or anything else, right? Okay, and also important to note that this is different than if you're taking a full semester course with someone else at the college. So the first 8 weeks deadlines are different than a full semester deadline. So just keep that in mind, and you can access both at that link. If you have learning accommodations, just let me know. Happy to work with you. That's no problem at all. For conduct and discipline, I've never had to discipline any of my students. Everyone's been fantastic, and I hope we can keep that trend, of course. I do have linked the FLC Code of Conduct for students. So this is the expectations for how you are to behave and act on campus for everyone's safety and sanity, I guess. Also, it's just nice to know what your rights are as a student too, right? So there's two sides to that coin. It's not just like disciplinary, it's also like your rights as a student as well. So that's your resource for that. And then yeah, just be kind, and we're all here to learn. For communication, check Canvas often. Oftentimes I'll post like an announcement, or I might send you an email, but just be on top of your Canvas. If you're logging in at least once or twice a week, that should be plenty to stay on top of things. We also have our Discord group, of course, which I'll go over that last, right? So Discord group was just another form of communication for the entire viticulture and enology program. Okay, so that is our syllabus. I'm going to move over and show you guys how Canvas is laid out with our module system. So if you go to Los Rios single sign-on, you use your WID and your password, you'll get a page that looks a lot like this. So I have already logged into mine. Mine might look a little bit different than yours because I'm an instructor, but once you get in, you get all these tiles to applications for the college. So we are most interested, oh yeah, you can move these by the way, which is fun. So we're most interested in Canvas. It's the one with like the nice yellow orangey sun logo. And we'll go ahead and sign in or just access it. And we are VITI 305 Wines of the World. So go ahead and click on that. Any course that you enrolled in should be listed on your homepage. Then you have a couple of different navigation options here. Dashboard, this will take you back to the page with all your courses that you've enrolled in. Courses are listed here. You have a calendar. You have a personal inbox through Canvas, so you can send me messages through Canvas, or I can send you messages through Canvas, right? So this is another thing to keep on top of in addition to your student email. Those are two different messaging options. In this section, the second scroll bar, we have home. This is the home page. You could think of it as for our Wines of the World class. Then we have announcements. There is a section for announcements on the home page, but it'll only show the first 2 or 3 announcements. If there's any more than that, you'll have to go to the announcements section to see the older ones. And then we have modules, and this is where like the bulk of the class is, right? So, and then you'll see I have like the links and stuff posted there. So modules is where you'll go to do the class, right? And I'll just go ahead and put this in student view for now. So what we have is module 0, introduction to the class. This is where I have our syllabus, class schedule. I'll probably upload this video as well. A lab waiver that you'll need to sign if you come in and do our optional tastings, and then an invite to the Discord group, right? So that is for your startup, and then your content for your first week of class will be this, Module 1, the United States. So if you have never worked with modules before and you're not quite sure how it works, you just go ahead and you start on the first list item in the module, and then you just work your way through it, right? So at the beginning of every module, I have an introduction. And then you'll also see, if you'd like to view the lecture of this module, you can watch it here. So I have pre-recorded these videos as YouTube lectures. So those of you guys who are, more audio learners, you want to hear me explain it to you, or if you even just want to have it playing in the background while you're if you have a very busy schedule and a busy life, you have kids, maybe you're doing cooking dinner, or maybe this is your relaxed time, or I don't know, doing laundry, then you can put on the video in the background, you can listen to it, you can pause it, listen to it again. That's the beautiful thing about recorded videos, right? It's there for you in case you missed anything or whatever time you want to see it, right? So you can watch that. That's linked here. It's the same exact content as the module itself. At the beginning of every module, there's also our unit learning objectives. These will be the big takeaways that I'd like you to learn at every module, right? And then tasks to complete. Just read through the module and then complete the quiz at the end. This is what 99% of the work of this class is. You read through the module, you take the quiz. You read through the next module, next week, you take the quiz. So that is the format. We might have one assignment where you do a write-up of some kind that you submit, and then we have the optional tastings, but that's about it for this class. So it's just 1.5 units, so it's nothing too crazy. Once you're done with the page of a module, you scroll to the bottom and you just hit next, right? So then this will bring you into module 1.0, the United States, wine history and overview, and then we have information. You process the information, you read about it, and then you scroll, scroll, scroll. At the end of every page, you'll have a knowledge checkpoint. This is again, the learning objectives in the last slide, where it's hey, what are the top 5 wines produced in the United States, right? And so you'd be I don't know, what was that? I missed that. And then maybe you'll have to, wine producing states in the United States, that's what I meant to say, sorry. So then you'll have to go back and you'll have to see, oh yeah, California, Washington State, New York, and so forth, right? So that is something that can help you prepare yourself for the quiz, right? Then as you continue, you just go through the pages, and then you eventually get to the quiz, and you're good to go. If you get lost, you can always go back to modules, and then you can scroll through what you have done, and then pick up where you left off, right? And then here's your quiz. Module 1 wrap-up, which is a summary, congratulations, you made it. And then we have first impressions, a survey. So you'll just go through the lists of your module. You can go at your own pace. You can do it all at once. You can do bits and pieces at a time. But that is there for you, and the recorded video is embedded in that as well for you. Next we have grades. So if you would like to keep an update on your grades, view it, I highly recommend you do so. Then we have student services and support as here as well. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so that is Canvas. That is what your work will look like. Now I will show you guys Discord, which I have it linked in multiple areas. If you'd like to join Discord, it's here too. This is what Discord looks like. It's optional. You're not required to join this. This is just another method of communication for the program. It's for students past, present, and future of the Viticulture Technology program. We have a really nice community of students. We have, a welcome page. These are all different pages. And the format is kind of like a continuous text thread, right? So we have pages or they call it channels on Discord for each of the courses. So if you're in VITI 300, 301, whatever. So we're in 305, Wines of the World. And this just picks up where we left off last year. So October 19th, we did a Wines of Japan tasting and food pairing. We had this awesome student, Midori, who is of Japanese descent and brought in a family recipe from Japan to pair with the wine. It was a very cool thing. So we'll just pick up right where we left off for anyone that would like to post here, basically, right? And then we also have other channels that you might be interested in. We have just general announcements. That's something, if we do an extracurricular tour or something that people can come to, I'll post it there. We have wine tasting groups, so students that get to experience wine in really cool ways will share it with each other. or invite each other to go out wine tasting together, right? So we had a student who went to Disneyland, and he went to the Star Wars Cantina and had some teal wine, which was fun. We have another student, Flavio, who is from Brazil, went back to Brazil and did some wine tasting. He's actually developing his own wine business after taking courses in this program, which is amazing. So really nice group of students and community. I encourage you to become engaged. It's really nice to just know people who have similar interests as you. And these are students of all sorts of backgrounds. You have students who are, engineers, English majors, stay-at-home moms, like you name it. We have everything in this group, and they're all very nice people. We also have a section for internships and jobs. So anytime that I, hear about a job or I have a recommendation, I'll post in here. I recently held a Zoom meeting going over winery job applications, just kind of like a workshop that we did. I posted the recording here for anyone that wants to see it. And then we also have scholarships as well. So we have that section where I'll kind of keep up. So overall, it's a really nice asset to you as a student. But if it's overwhelming or you just feel like, maybe you're just taking one class but you don't really want to be involved, that's okay too. It's optional. It's not required that you sign up for that. Wonderful. Okay, so that is Discord, the Canvas website and modules, and the syllabus. If you have any other questions or concerns, or you're just having a hard time finding things, feel free to send me an email. I'm more than happy to be here for you guys. If you can make it to the tastings, I will be happy to see you there. If you don't, I'm happy to see you virtually as well. But as we get closer to the 5th, I will post an invite on the announcements section. So you'll see an announcement saying, hey, this Friday the 5th, we're going to do a tasting it's either going to be 5 or 6 p.m. I'm not sure yet, but I'll let you know. I'll give you plenty of notice. If you can make it, I'll ask you to RSVP. If you can't, that's okay. But we'll kind of approach it that way. Awesome. Okay, well, like I said, if you have any questions, send me an email, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys soon.